Today, we take for granted how easy it is to transport goods across countries and around the world. With highly sophisticated and complex international ports that provide national road and railway systems with a constant supply of freight traffic, it's hard even to imagine how industries functioned before the internal combustion engine and the rail network. Just as the primary method of moving goods around the world is still over water via container ships, water was also the key to the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and early 19th centuries. Carrying heavy or fragile goods on barges was cheap, safe, and relatively quick. So historically, canals were critically important to the industrial development of the United Kingdom and many other countries. By the mid-19th century, a network of over 7,000 kilometres of waterways had been constructed, linking newly industrialised cities across the UK. The swift construction of these canals was one of the most impressive engineering feats of the Industrial Revolution. But the United Kingdom isn't flat, and the hills and mountains created an enormous challenge when it came to building a network of canals that could cross the entire country. While multiple locks were used to gradually raise or lower a boat, the method was exceedingly slow. And for the engineers of the time, finding a way around this issue proved impossible. As a result, and with the arrival of the steam train, the supremacy of the canal in the UK was short-lived. So, since the mid-20th century, people in the UK have been using canals mostly for leisure and recreation. Canal-side warehouses have been converted into highly desirable apartments, and, for many people, spending a week quietly cruising through the countryside on a houseboat is a perfect way to spend their holidays. But, unfortunately, the canal network is fragmented, and in many regions, waterways have fallen into disuse. And for many years, this was the story of the historic Forth and Clyde and Union canals between Edinburgh and Glasgow. Located in an area of Scotland renowned for its stunning lochs and mountains, the two canals were separated by a height difference of 35 metres. Since 1933, when a series of 11 locks at Falkirk were dismantled, there had been no way for a boat to cross Scotland from east to west on the canals. That was until 1994, when engineers decided to tackle linking the canals once more, this time using modern technology. After years of research and development, engineers came up with a beautiful and radically new solution to the age-old challenge. This extraordinary structure is the Falkirk wheel, a 35-metre-tall steel rotating boat lift with two gondolas that can lift boats up and down between the two canals in just 4 minutes, using less power than it takes to boil 8 kettles. At a cost of over £17 million to construct and using 1,200 tonnes of steel, the wheel opened to the public in 2002. Today, it's a popular tourist attraction, with visitors, young and old, keen to experience the unique sensation of being in a boat and rising up through the air as if by magic. Obviously, it's not magic that drives the wheel. In fact, it's 10 hydraulic motors and a series of linked cogs that turn the massive arms that support a water and boat-filled gondola at each end. All of this is made possible by clever engineering and the application of Archimedes' principle of displacement. This basic principle of physics guarantees that the weight of any boat in a gondola will displace an exactly proportional volume of water, so the final boat plus water will always remain the same. It's this precise balance that means a minimal amount of energy is required to rotate the gondolas from top to bottom around the massive central spine. The giant mechanisms controlled by computer and constantly monitored to guarantee the safety of everyone using the wheel. All the moving parts are regularly checked, and the operators are careful to ensure that the wheel rotates an equal number of times clockwise and anti-clockwise to reduce stress on the structure. The Falkirk wheel was built more than 200 years after the golden age of the canal in the 18th century, but it's proof that technology and innovation can breathe new life into old ways of doing things. And who knows, 100 years from now, if we haven't managed to find alternative fuels to address problems with current energy supplies, maybe we'll have returned to using canals for transport. And maybe we'll have more magnificent boat lifts, like the Falkirk wheel, providing an elegantly engineered and energy-efficient solution to an age-old problem.